This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode something or other. 737.
736?
737. It's like a jet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that one of the ones that started having, like, a bunch of crashing problems?
They had to
ground one of them because of
it was one of the larger
systemic
jets.
failures.
It was a larger jet than that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Dreamliner, I think.
I don't remember. I'm Brian Kilby. That was Chris and Diecast. Don's also here. Rob, Matt, and John with his arcade arcade in the background. So
Looks awesome.
Now that The Simpsons is up for pre-order, John, are you going to pick that up?
Don't remind me. I forgot that existed. I don't want to think about it. I think that's one of those that you either pre-order it or you don't get it.
I'm not getting it.
I don't think they're gonna sit on overstock on a brand like that.
Yeah.
So
my Marvel pinball table came yesterday. I'm in the process of putting that together. I'm excited about that. It's
fun.
It's bigger in person than I expected it to be, so I'm happy with that. But it's also way smaller than an actual pinball table. So,
sure. I'm not sure how they do the pinball tables. If they do the Doctor Who one, I might have to get that.
I don't think there's much risk of that, Don.
I don't anticipate they'll even make any more after these 3 that they've done.
I like putting together the 1-up stuff. Like you get out like your rubber mallet, your screwdriver, and your tools. It's fun. It's a good time.
Yeah. I saw a picture. Are they doing a Discs of Tron? The old Discs of Tron, is that coming out?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not keeping up with every leak or anything from Arcade 1-up, but I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Oh, I remember too. They did the Konami X-Men game. Please, people, please don't mention that brand to me. Don't do it.
And it has the Captain America and the Avengers game on it too.
Yeah, I already forgot that has happened. Or
America still needs help.
Yep. And then they have the Golden Axe cabinet that's sitting out there that's in stock now. It looks tremendous.
Yeah. Oh, I would love.
Let's move on.
I could never beat Golden Axe. I love it.
Yeah. Okay. No more.
So, Kilby, I think you have a review you want to plug.
Do I? Oh, yeah. I posted the Kingdom review.
Yeah.
And also the review for Masters of the Universe Revelations. Spoilers, I liked Revelations.
The worst part of it was that it didn't have Skeletor in it. It had a Joker with a skull face.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
That was, my biggest complaint with it are just little things like that. I don't like some of the voices. And
it's just the one voice. The one voice I have a problem with.
Merman. I hate Merman's voice. It's literally just Kevin Conroy Batman.
Yeah, I do.
Have a ton of range.
Miss the Scott McNeil version from.
Alan Oppenheimer. It was Alan Oppenheimer did the original Merman, wasn't it?
Yeah, I like the 2000 series one because it was basically Waspinator.
Waspinator, yeah. I like the Sea Spray voice.
That seems like a good fit.
Yeah. I like the.
It's hard to replace Alan Oppenheimer in any case.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just his Sea Spray voice too, wasn't it?
Yep, it was. That's what it should be.
I just want to make the real quick take that if we were discussing this in context of Transformers and you were saying I didn't like Mark Hamill as Megatron, just think about that. Like that's what He-Man fans get to discuss right now. I didn't like Mark Hamill as Skeletor.
I didn't like Mark Hamill as the Fallen because that's a thing that happened.
I will gladly retake that. I'll reclaim that. Just at this point, let's have round 2 of that.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna go into any plot details here. I will say I enjoyed Revelations, and I would be extremely pleased and amused if there was never another episode of it after the way it ended.
That would be great, yeah. There's a cliffhanger. Just be waiting for it.
Yeah.
Kingdom, I figure we'll talk more in depth
like
next
Shin
week.
Mazinger.
What was that, Rob?
Like Shin Mazinger. Great Mazinger Z series from the creator of G Gundam.
Yeah.
And it just ends halfway in the on almost exactly the same cliffhanger, in fact.
That's funny.
Hey, Rob, is that the
It's
one
worth
where
watching sometime?
Is that the one where they have they switch between pilots and one uses guns and one uses swords?
No, I think that's Mazin Kaiser's skull.
Yeah. So Kingdom, though, next week debuts actually this week on
Thursday?
Tomorrow, yeah, Thursday, as this is recorded. I figure we'll talk more in depth next week. Some more folks will watch it. It'll be an interesting conversation. The review that I posted, you're safe to listen to it because there are 0 spoilers.
Yeah, I listened to it myself, and I can confirm that there's nothing in there that's going to ruin the show that the show is not going to already do to itself. So after listening to your review, I also came across an illicit recording of Beast Wars Megatron's voice, and wow, that's going to be an experience.
Yeah, it's the way I put it is that they run Beast Wars Megatron. It's like they run him through Google Translate and then run him back through Google Translate to try to reconstitute him, and this is what we get.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but as I mentioned in the review, Frank Totaro's Starscream is pretty great, as usual. So, okay, that's as far as we'll go into that. Let's jump to news stuff. Chris posted quite a few things over the last few days. So RSC News Desk 145, I just like the title, All About Bees. There's like been a ton of Buzzworthy Bumblebee stuff. It's popped up.
It's time for the second wave.
Yeah. And
the new swarm has arrived.
And it's like Target doesn't announce this stuff. It just happens.
And neither does Hasbro.
Yeah. This is kind of like what it used to be like to be a Transformers fan.
Yes. This is 1999.
Yes. You go to the store and there's new stuff.
Except so much worse.
And you didn't know about it.
And then you're like, oh, I didn't know about that. Oh, I don't need to buy it either.
Yeah. I think it was easier to make trade-off decisions like that back then. Even though way less came out. Way less than we get now.
Yeah, I mean, like in 1999, one whole deluxe wave, the new toys in it were just Dinobot 2 and Transmetal 2 Prowl. Like I think there was a couple of reruns from the previous wave, but like a wave of 2 toys, basically.
Yeah.
We don't get that anymore.
No. Let's see here. Gosh, there was a Worlds Collide 4-pack which showed up a couple weeks ago.
Mistakenly
at Walmart.
At Walmart, yeah.
So interestingly enough, this has turned up in Canada now too, and is apparently at Walmart in Canada. And I'm trying to put the pieces together to think, like, did that somehow lead to a couple of Walmarts in the U.S. mistakenly get routed a couple of these?
Probably.
Yeah.
That
Could
makes
be.
the most sense. I mean, stuff comes from, so it's like my wife used to work at Kmart. She did for years. And they would get stuff from Walmart, like Walmart store brand stuff all the time. You know, when you have a distributor or manufacturer that makes, house branded stuff for more than one company, things happen.
It's going to get mixed up, yeah.
Yeah. But but if it's meant for Walmart in Canada, that makes more sense. I'm sure there's a lot of shared logistics in there somewhere.
Probably. I mean,
Almost has to be.
I assume it all comes through, Port of Los Angeles, whether it's coming to the U.S. or Canada ultimately.
Certain, yeah.
But yeah, so the Buzzworthy stuff, there's 3 Studio Series 2-packs, all a Bumblebee from some movie with a rival character from that movie. So one Bumblebee and Barricade from the 2007 movie, one is Bumblebee and Stinger, and the other is Bumblebee and Car Mode Dropkick. And those are all about $43 reportedly.
Sorry, in tfradio.net/Discord, I'm just sharing my opinion more in depth with the group about Revelations.
Let's see, what else was there? It's not in the article or the podcast, but Don did mention today finding the new Crash Combiner 2-packs that are Buzzworthy Bumblebee branded. I think those are reused from Robots in Disguise 2015.
Yeah, the prime is the Grimlock. I think it is, because the Grimlock was only available in that 5-pack Ultra Bumblebee set, but I never really looked at it that much, so I really can't be sure. And then there was one we were talking about, the Power Charge Bumblebee from a couple years ago,
which has come out at like a $15 price hike. Then onto the newer stuff, there's the Worlds Collide 4-pack, which finally got in-store sightings properly at Target in the last few days.
Didn't John get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe John was helped by our Discord member Panda Strong, who also helped me out. I just don't have mine yet because he couldn't meet me in a parking lot somewhere and look like he's doing a drug deal.
Yes. it was an appropriate neighborhood for it too. It wasn't, but that's okay. That's all right. Panda has probably he's put eyeballs on probably like a dozen of those at this point.
Yeah, that sounds like.
They're all over Dallas.
Origin Bumblebee came out. That was on Friday, I think.
Yeah, that's basically everywhere now.
Yeah.
I wish I could find it.
Well, there's good news, Diecast. So Origin Bumblebee is solid packed cases of 8. So
Oh, nice.
when it gets to your area,
There's a bunch of
it
them.
will be there forever. It's going to be like those the Core Class 2-pack with the exosuit and the bumper Bumblebee, but worse because it's more expensive. So yeah, that's not going to be any problem at all.
And I saw there's 2 variants on the box.
Is there?
That's the first I've heard of it.
There's one that has a full window, and then there's one that has a half window.
Like a full length window?
Yeah.
So the thing with this box is there's no plastic window. It's an open front. I didn't realize there was a long opening and a short opening version.
Yeah.
That's very weird and concerning, given that it has no plastic.
It has no plastic?
It has no plastic.
No.
You can touch it.
No plastic.
Oh,
Yep.
wow.
It is 100%, well, okay, it's like 99% plastic-free packaging because it still has the plastic hanger hook.
Yeah,
I wonder if the one that has the bigger opening has plastic.
I don't know why you would need a bigger opening because the opening on the box is pretty much big enough
It
to where you can
shows
see the whole figure.
almost the entire toy.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to the die cutout on Kingdom packaging. It might
Yeah.
be a little bit bigger than that on the version me and Matt have.
I did like that I know I can just throw the whole thing in the recycling bin and be done with it.
Oh, here it is.
I'm
Donald.
looking now. Trying
Yeah,
to find
so
the
I got
picture.
the short box version too. Spoilers for what we got.
Just, Don, were you trying to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say this is just on a tangent, but I was looking at the energy rods that come with that Origins Bumblebee, and my G2 Megatron is packed up, so I could not try it out. But it looks like due to their shape and their size, I'm betting they would probably work in G2 Megatron's main gun and launch out.
The actual original G2
Yeah,
Megatron.
the original launching
It has,
G2
it has
Megatron.
the like tongue and groove thing though. Like
No,
the guy
no,
for the
no.
missile.
G2 Megatron's main cannon. There's no like catches on those. It's entirely the whole mechanism
Solid.
is in the cannon. So you pull the thing back, it locks, and then when you release it, it just it's like the pizza thrower, the Playmates pizza thrower, but not motorized.
Well, the
It's
pizza
basically the same.
thrower had a spinning disc.
Right, that's the motorized part, but the plunger part was the important part. Like it's like a Nerf gun that's spring loaded versus one of the motor drive ones.
Okay.
But yeah, G2 Megatron had a really cool cannon firing mechanism. That was one of my favorite things on that toy, plus with the sound effects.
Yeah, so it's very possible those Origin Energon rods would work in him, which I really hope I can try it out when I can get stuff pulled back together.
Just make sure you fire it into a well-lit corner so you don't lose one of them.
Night sort of saying it's the same part from the main cannon from the G.I. Joe Thunder tank.
Oh, okay. No, I would have to assume that works though, because I'm pretty sure that those energy rods are a narrower diameter than the original missiles, and the way the cannon works, even if it's longer than the magazine, you could breech load it basically.
So, I'm sorry. I will. This is my last sidestep, and I know I hate.
We're
when other people do
sidestepping
this.
all over the place. It's fine.
In our Discord, tfradio.net/Discord, Blade. I think let me make sure to give proper credit because it's the best thing I've read all day. Yes, Blade Raider said the first episode of Revelations is fine, but it'd been amazing if if it had ended with a PSA about keeping secrets. That is amazing. Okay, watch it. It's worth your time. That is wonderful. That was great. Okay. Okay. What else?
So in the same article, it's not Bumblebee specifically, although they did rebrand it as Bumblebee Adventures, so I guess it sort of tangentially counts. Stock photos for Cyberverse Deluxe Cheetor, which I think we heard about first through store listings about a
so
year
nice
ago.
looking. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it does look pretty nice. So this doesn't have blast effects as such. It has armor pieces for the beast mode. Which you can, if you look at the stock photos, you can see that the armor pieces are then also haphazardly applied to the robot mode just to say that they can.
Do we have photos of this?
Yeah, it's on the
Check the show
News
notes
Desk
link.
145 article.
Okay, I must have missed that.
Yeah, it's all there. You should pay more attention to RFC News, diecast.
It was also all over
news.
It's also all over Twitter like this weekend.
Well, that too.
Is that okay?
His expectation is different than ours.
It's like Cyberverse, basically.
It is Cyberverse.
Yeah, Cyberverse Deluxe Cheetor, like I said. But still, it's nice looking. It's certainly the nicest Cyberverse Cheetor toy yet. Which it's not that it's had much competition. I think the only other one was the Battleship Armor one, which was pretty terrible. So I don't know if there's going to be any more new figures in whatever assortment this comes out in. It's in the new Dinobots Unite packaging style. So at the very least, there's going to be some repacks they have to ship with it.
I don't want to buy any more Cyberverse if I can get away with it. So I hope there's not. But I will get this.
As far as I'm aware of, there hasn't been any other Cyberverse Deluxes dug out of the system yet. I wouldn't be surprised if there, was one or two more Dinobots coming along in this product category.
In the deluxe scale.
Yeah.
Yeah. I dig those.
And then basically some of the stuff we were talking about during pre-show. So Rodimus Prime came out at Targets over the weekend. The art came out places. That's pretty much the long and short of 145.
Rodimus Prime.
I don't believe it till I have one in my hands.
Only in Malaysia, Brian.
I'm checking my Target again right now to see if they have it in stock. I need it.
They don't.
Damn it.
Probably don't have the ARC either.
Cool. And let's see here. Anything else from that one? There's not.
No, that's all for that one.
Okay, so we talked about Nightbird last week. We have new photos though, official photos, and it looks so much better. I think. Also, Masterpiece Crosscut, which we assumed would happen, but it's wonderful to see it. And I saw a posting on Facebook about Masterpiece Cliffjumper Proto.
That's in here too.
It just doesn't. I don't know. So, let's see here. What's everybody's thoughts on Nightbird? She is posted to Amazon Japan right now with the current exchange rate shipping to my house. Total cost was $135.
That's not too bad.
No.
She is certainly better than RC.
RC is fine. You have RC, right?
No.
Yes, RC is like 1,000,000 times better in hand than it is in photos. Like, I didn't care for RC in photos, but getting it and holding it, it's actually pretty excellent.
I figured this has the same thing going for it that the Legends Nightbird did, where just the black and silver, even with minimal mold alterations, just looks better by default. And in many ways, this is just like a Masterpiece Legends toy, because it even has the swords, new accessory swords here, which are designed exactly after the swords that came with that generation's RC toy, which Legends Nightbird also included. There's also an option face based on art by Hayato Sakamoto, which would have probably also been based on the Legends use of Nightbird, because the Legends comic series was his work pretty much. So like there's a lot of energy in this where it's basically just a Masterpiece version of LG-15, which is kind of crazy to me, but I also kind of appreciate, but not in a way enough to spend $130 to $175 on it.
What were the other toys in that assortment?
Slipstream and Black Arachnia.
Okay. The Black Arachnia. Yeah, that's what I was trying to think of. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, one thing I wanted to bring up on that crosscut is that if you're looking at, I mean, it's great. It's the same price as the other two, But a couple years ago, X Transbots did Savant, their
Don't care.
third-party skids.
Don't care.
I know, but I'm also bringing it up that they also did their own version of Crosscut, and a lot of retailers out of China right now are selling that for $49 to $59. So I'm just saying, if that you wanted to have Crosscut but be slightly different than your boost or your not boost, reboost or skids, I'm just saying that's an alternative if you wanted the three to be similar but not quite the same for about half the cost. I just wanted to bring that up.
I'm good. Thank you though, Don. Thank you for the PSA. I'm sure somebody actually appreciates that, but I don't do third-party Masterpiece anymore. I'm done with that.
I know. So good anyway.
Yeah, it looks great.
Oh, I know. I agree. I'm just saying. I just did want to, because I know Eric was looking for that figure, and that was a real good price for him. So I just wanted to bring that up for anyone who wanted that as an option.
It seems kind of questionable though, when the price is that low. Like, what's wrong with it?
Well, I've thought the same thing, but I saw multiple sellers, including some that are on the the various good seller lists that are out there from sellers out of China.
Not the deal. What's wrong with the toy? So that yeah.
Well, I've got Savant. I've got that as skids. That's why I'm getting Reboost and I'm not getting skids, because I've already got a skids representation. But I've got the Savant, and other than Savant's head being the face is a little soft, it is a very nice toy.
Okay, but Masterpiece Crosscut.
Yes,
I know. I totally get it, and I totally understand. And I'm just saying, for me, it's a little more important, one, for the money savings, and two, so they're not quite all the same.
Well, that was the news item from 2 years ago. Let's move to the next news item. So. Sorry, Don. I'm giving you crap. Okay, so
Crosscut though has always been probably the best deco of the Honda City in the Diaclone use, and even in Generations when they did the remodeled skids based on IDW and they ran a Crosscut off of that. That was such a nicer, not just looking, that felt nicer than the skids they produced off of that. So like I've got a real soft spot for Crosscut, and like I kind of got to have this, which I'm glad. So this is
But did you know you could get an inferior toy for like $30 from China?
Really? I had no idea. Thank you, Brian. I wish somebody would have told me that.
I'm not saying. I'm just pointing out as an option, because some people may want to know who didn't. I noticed that. I kind of caught the gist of that.
So,
if you like Transformers, there's these things called GoBots. They're a little bit cheaper.
Nightbird's a general retail masterpiece you can get on Amazon Japan, like Kilby mentioned. Crosscut is Takara Tomy Mall exclusive in Japan, so there's no direct import options outside of the Hasbro-backed official ones. So, Hasbro Pulse and any of those kind of places, it's going to be about, what was it, $89?
Yeah.
So, as masterpieces go, this is going to be on the small side, like we talked about when the prototype of skids first popped up. It's going to be a little bit on the small side, probably, but it's the best priced masterpiece that's come out in a long time, and it looks so, so nice. Matt, since you were absent for most of the discussion of Nightbird and Crosscut, any thoughts you want to share on the new masterpieces?
I'm really looking forward to that Crosscut. I'm hoping it's as nice as it looks.
Yeah.
Because I need a win in the masterpiece column here. Seriously. If
So
there's
you
any
don't
hope
think
of continuing.
You don't think that test shot we saw of Masterpiece Cliffjumper is going to be a win?
Oh God.
Masterpiece Cliffjumper, what is allegedly a test shot of that popped up on Facebook, and it's just the robot mode, and it does appear to be Bumblebee 2.0 with Cliffjumper parts, which is what we all assumed was going to happen, and it looks, just as whelming as that did.
Now, the feet, which are essentially just a bunch of folded panels stacked upon each other, may fare better on Cliffjumper since he's more of a boxy square body type instead of round like Bumblebee was, and that just looked like a mess. But what got me is because this is an unpainted prototype, so you can see the giant shell of unpainted plastic hanging off his back, and it just
Yeah.
Not too excited about this one.
That'll
No.
look better
No.
painted.
And it's going to be like $160 going by Bumblebee's pricing.
Ooh.
And Ryan face palmed for those not watching on video.
I think the feet do look better. Matt is right. The feet do look better.
well, from the angle we're seeing it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah, but they
remember-
have a side angle, which, you know, it's basically showing the backpack, but you can get a look at the feet too. And
yeah, which reinforces that whole folded up panels thing. I mean, we speculated when Bumblebee was being shown before release, and even when it came out, like this engineering could have been designed around Cliffjumper more so, and they just went with Bumblebee first because Bumblebee. So, you know, there's still a chance that this masterpiece design will actually work better in this application if it's what the engineering was actually meant for.
yeah.
But
Yep.
it's still going to be like $160, $170.
And that thing is tiny.
Yeah, it's probably going to be smaller than Skids
Oh God.
and cost
Yeah.
literally twice as much.
God. Yeah. That's not good news. I wonder if
I
X
wish-
Transbots has something that we can get for like $40 on clearance from China.
Yeah,
They
X
do.
Transbots has a Cliffjumper.
No one
Um,
has ever made a masterpiece Cliffjumper alike that I care for, but options do exist.
That's kind of the problem too. You know, Cliffjumper is a model of Porsche, so there's going to be challenges getting an accurate licensed vehicle mode. But Cliffjumper never looked like a Porsche in the original toy or the cartoon, really, because of the
Yeah, it was the
penny
penny
racer
racer.
proportions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to ask a question, Chris, that everyone's already asking. Do you think since we're seeing Cliffjumper and he was kind of a Porsche, this is going to open the doors for Jazz?
No. No, what I think what I think is going to happen is they're going to go for Hasbro style, like, you know, squint and tilt your head and wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know, they're going to try to skirt around this as much as they can to not even bother trying to get Porsche to
Yes.
go along
For a
with
master.
this.
What was the-
Make it legally distinct enough to get
Yeah.
away with it.
Okay, so Optimus Prime is not branded like the vehicle. Is Megatron branded like a Walther gun?
I don't think they licensed the gun.
Okay, so obviously the characters that were completely like Shockwave,
Right.
all those
Soundwave,
characters. Yeah, but are there any
Starscream.
cars that aren't licensed vehicles?
I don't think so.
Nothing comes to mind.
Yeah, so that'll be weird.
Yeah, they even put the Volkswagen on Bumblebee version 2.0.
But that's because they're trying to have a working relationship to use the Volkswagen imagery.
Hot Rod and RC, Nightsword pointed out. So yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, okay.
But those aren't based on real world. Which I mean,
Correct.
again, what's my point? Like characters
Yes,
that
there's no licensing to be had.
yeah, like fanciful designs. So like anything that was, you know, like they skirted around the IP with Diet
84,
Clone.
85,
Yeah.
yeah, Autobot cars.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the possibility that they will use the Volkswagen arrangement that they have to get their foot in the door for a Porsche likeness. And you know, of course, the Porsche in the upcoming movie might help the cause too, but they also do, I think, have an out with Cliffjumper to just kind of, you know, make it a generic little compact box car instead of what it actually was supposed to be. You know, if there's at least one test shot floating around of this, we're going to see more of this, and eventually somebody's going to cram that into a vehicle mode and we'll get more answers.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's-
Before we move on,
Yeah.
I have a quick question about Crosscut because I'm on Hasbro Pulse's site, and apparently it will ship everywhere except Quebec, Canada. So does Canada have something against Honda?
No. Quebec has something against people who speak English. So any products sold in Quebec have to have French on their packaging in addition to English.
Interesting.
So a lot of the stuff on Pulse will not ship there because it does not meet the language requirements.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring that up too, because that was a big thing about the Pulse stuff. Is that it ships to Canada, just not in Quebec.
So this is good to know.
Like Hasbro stuff, which has, you know, massively multilingual coverage, either on the box or inside on that information slip, usually will be okay, but the Takara stuff that's imported will not, because they might slap a little bit of English sticker on there just to cover some of the information, but predominantly there's no French on that packaging.
That makes sense because I'm
Yeah.
so used to the multi-language packaging now.
Yeah.
I didn't even think that this is coming from, it's being imported in, so it may not have that multi-language packaging.
So
Yeah, it won't.
so this was news to me. I didn't realize he was up for pre-order on Pulse. So that's awesome.
Well, you should have read the news article I posted today.
I haven't. So and also I didn't realize that the premium finish figures are either in, oh god. Okay, let's talk about those, I guess.
Well, it's not like you need to buy these.
I am, though, is the problem.
You have a real problem.
I sure do.
And that's
Hot
coming from
Kettle
Diecast.
Black.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, I'm not sure which one of these is the pot and which one's the kettle when you step back and look at it.
Yeah.
That's where the kettle calling the kettle the kettle.
So, Premium Wave 4, we have everybody's favorite Seeker, the Cybertronian mode, Starscream from Siege.
Yeah, Siege Starscream, which, so Shattered Glass, I think, was declared as the 10th use of this, so this might be the 11th now, this premium finish one.
It ships in September.
Make it stop.
Wait,
Doesn't
no.
look any better.
It's slightly cleaner.
Yeah. When does this ship? Oh, 2022. Okay. It's an April Fool's toy, too. Great.
Only for the US. In Japan, it comes out in January.
And so Studio Series Ratchet, which I didn't realize is a deluxe.
It's a deluxe.
I didn't even realize that. So
they did the kind of trick with engineering it so that the mass stretches out. If I don't own that, but I've heard many people say that it's a very, very light feeling toy when you get it unfolded into robot mode.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It has a lot of volume, but not a lot of mass.
I just can't get over that roll bar, just because I don't think that's transformed wrong. I think the original toy was the same way. It was just that roll bar is just hanging off his butt.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, keep in mind too, Ratchet was one of the earliest Studio Series toys from maybe Wave 2. So where the engineering is now with Studio Series stuff, it wasn't then.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like we need a redo of this toy rather than a premium finish. Like, just please redo Ratchet.
I don't think you're wrong, but that's outside the purview of this.
The premium finish. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and underbase Starscream, I think. I mean, that's when I say robot mode, that's what I think. I think the underbase
it might
saga.
as well.
Yeah.
Well, technically, Golden Lagoon Starscream could have been underbase Starscream too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They shouldn't even call it premium finish. They should just call it kind of a little better finish.
That makes it
so
premium.
Like on the Studio Series toys, I think the premium finish thing more obviously applies. It's just with the Siege toys, they're trying to replicate a really specific look that we don't like.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going for as much accuracy to the Netflix animation as possible. So, like in Ultra Magnus's case, it makes the toy look horrible. In the case of Starscream, it makes it look basically the same as it started, but with a different pattern that makes it look maybe a little bit cleaner than the regular retail toy. There's certainly a market for what this line is. We're not it. except for Wave 2 with the Studio Series 38 Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime redo, because that's perfectly fine.
Yeah. Let's see here. Man, is there anything from this line that looks good so far or better than?
Yeah, the Optimus Prime that I was just mentioning.
I mean, like the Studio Series 38. That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that it looks that much better.
Oh, it does. more details filled in. It certainly doesn't look worse.
No, it doesn't look worse. I'll agree with that.
No, it's the paint job's better. I also suspect if they're going as hard on this as it looks like, they're going to have it painted in such a way where there's as little of the like plastic shine showing through on the surfaces as possible. Of course, there's still going to be unpaintable plastic in places that they're not going to be able to do anything about. But for the most part, it's going to be as painted as possible, I believe.
Yeah. Oh man, let's see what else we have to talk about this week. Next Fan First Friday is scheduled.
Yeah, so that kind of rolls into the story after it because that was revealed in the same press release.
So, Paternity reports by way of a press release about the new. What? Let me understand that.
So the press release came out for a theatrical showing of Transformers the movie.
Oh yeah,
which
everybody got that. That's yeah.
And buried within that was that there's going to be a Fan First Friday stream on Friday, August the 13th. It says it's going to have more information about the theater event and news and reveals, and so I speculate a little bit on what that might be, which Transformers the movie related stuff that we know exists right now but hasn't been officially revealed basically boils down to that Studio Series Sweep, which is just Studio Series Scourge with the hands reversed.
As it should be.
And the Kingdom Galvatron redeco, that's the reformatting Galvatron that's been rumored, clear purple plastic, grid lines, all that stuff. So both
I thought that was the RID thing.
You mean the RED thing, the red thing?
RED, yeah.
That's Megatron, not Galvatron.
Right. They're
What?
reliable insiders say they're doing a Galvatron like that off the Kingdom mold.
So a leader Galvatron?
Like the one we just got, yeah. Exactly like that, except in clear plastics, grid lines, all that. So those are two things. If they're keeping this themed around Transformers the movie, those are likely things to get revealed. There's still, the possibility also this will be where they start talking about the Haslab campaign, just because they've got a media event here and they could go ahead and use that if they want to launch that soon. How much longer is on Galactus?
I don't know.
How far along is Galactus?
I will tell you right now. Give me 2 seconds.
It had not budged very much last time I looked.
It
That's
is
unfortunate.
at 9,785 backers of the
14, yeah.
14,000, and it's got 33 days left.
Okay, so it's gone up 1,000 since last time I checked, which was a couple days ago. So it had a boost.
It'll hit its goal. There's plenty of time for that.
Yeah, it'll do fine. I do have a related sadder story. Is that at the same time Mattel Creations is doing their first crowdfunding project for WWE.
Oh
so
no.
Yes, oh no is right. So it's a really cool ring. And it's even constructed like a real ring. So it's got like wooden panels that you lay down and then you put the apron on. It's got an entrance with working lights. It's a crowdfunding thing, right? So their target is 5,000 backers and 25 days left. And it's been over a week and they don't have 1,000 yet.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, but what was the price again? Wasn't it like
$250?
That's
I saw that. And I
nothing.
was like,
That's
no.
nothing for
Nothing to
wrestling
a-
fans.
Yeah, or to just a hardcore toy collector.
Yeah, that's nothing at all.
That's nothing.
They'll-
It
people,
ain't- it ain't
I
gonna
can't tell you how
happen.
many people I know who will drop $1,000 on a fake belt.
So,
Yeah, but I haven't
they
even
have
seen
a-
anything about that.
They don't even have 900 backers after about a week, and they have less than a month to go. And
Oh,
they
this
need to-
feels like a cookie monster.
yes, then
They're
need to
not really
find-
telling the fans of this
4,000 more people.
crowdfunding thing.
That's true.
I mean,
I've heard
you know.
about this like once on Twitter since it started, and then just like complete silence on it.
Yeah, they gotta get
Whereas
on.
with Galactus right now, I'm hearing people talking about that a few times a day. Official stuff coming out of Hasbro through email and social media. Not every day, but like they're keeping the awareness of that up. And as far as I can tell, Mattel isn't doing that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. I mean, I had no idea Mattel had a crowdfunding platform.
Neither did I. But I think
Nor did-
Galactus will be okay. There's still plenty of time to go,
yeah.
but it was never going to fund in under 48 hours the way the Sentinel did, because Sentinels are troop builders. Galactus
Yeah.
is not.
Earlier today on the Discord, when some of us were talking about this, a good point was made too. The Sentinel hit when there was stimulus checks floating around, so that made that process go a little bit easier too.
I'm looking at this ring and it does nothing for me, and it comes with Kevin Nash. That's like 2 knocks against it.
I mean, to start with, I don't care about wrestling in any extent, and would certainly never buy product like this. But just from the way John describes it, it sounds really cool.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. But to your point, the marketing's terrible. But it's also a lesson in like these crowdfunding things don't just magically fund themselves. Like it can be a slog to find that many backers, and Hasbro is still working really hard, even though Galactus will be fine, probably be fine. But yeah, they're still hustling for it every day or every week.
And I feel like part of that too is just that like the powers that be at Hasbro probably either feel or directly have a greater obligation to say their shareholders, to say that like, we are putting the work behind this to make this happen. Whereas on the Mattel side of things, it's probably just like, yeah, do whatever. We're going to go have lunch.
So that's a great example of the difference in, I would say, probably the corporate cultures between the two companies. It's the reason that, Hasbro is Hasbro and Mattel is Mattel. Mattel is super successful, but mostly because of, just based on my observation, just on
Mattel apparently makes better cartoons for their products.
Well, but just the fact that Mattel has Barbie and Hot Wheels.
Yeah.
And they've
and
got
a lot
decades
of that is
and decades
momentum.
of momentum. Yeah.
I mean, I was a wrestling fan. I was a
Trained wrestler.
wrestling toy collector
And
at one point.
and a trained professional wrestler.
Yeah. I never once thought, wow, I really wish I had a better ring.
Wrestling
for my
toy collectors that I know, they absolutely do want a better ring. And I know there are more than 894 of them.
Well, one thing about the Haslab is that they also probably feel like they need a clear and concise victory with this Galactus project, so there's no more like what happened with Unicron. Where do the numbers come from? How did it hit it? Whether it's on the up and up or not, it will be debated
Marvel,
for a long time.
I think they'll be okay.
But I'm just saying, after Unicron, they probably also want a good, clear
Unicron and Cookie Monster. Like that's the bigger picture to take away from that. Cookie Monster was an abject failure, and Unicron needed an extension. That was two things back to back.
If you go looking for that Cookie Monster project, you won't find any proof that it ever existed.
Yeah, I was going to say, stop talking about it. They really, really don't want us talking about Cookie Monster.
That was a bad time in general for Haslab, because like they pushed a little bit more than they should have at that point with the properties that they were working with. I think, after that, they reassessed how they were coming at this and what they were focusing on, and things have been better since then. And I think it's going to continue to be that way because they're going to be more cautious.
I mean, I'm an average Marvel fan, and this Sentinel is about $150 more than I would want to spend.
Yeah, my buddy Jason, who is not a toy collector, he has a couple. Sent me a text. I think it's so cute when Jason sends me toy news. I don't like. It's like today he texted me. He's like, "Hey, do you know that Arcade 1-Up is making a Simpsons cabinet?" And I was like, "Oh, really? That's interesting." But he sent over the link to the thing, and he actually really wants it. But he basically said it's like $200 more than he would be willing to spend. So,
yeah, I would love to pitch in on Galactus, but crowdfunding things are expensive, and I know for a fact that a Transformers project is coming up, and I want to see how that turns out before I put money on anything else.
Yeah.
So Hasbro, you might want to space these out a little bit more.
Yeah, and I'm just speculating they might use this Fan First Friday to launch, or at least preview, I guess, the Transformers Haslab campaign. It just feels like it's a reasonable time that they could talk more about that, if not actually start it rolling at that point. They could have a Fan First Friday, 3 weeks in a row if they want to. Just we don't know what they're going to do yet, and probably to a great degree they don't know what they're going to do yet either.
So, okay, we really haven't talked about the other thing though. September 20. Let me double check. September 26th.
There's 2 showings.
Yeah, I think
The 26th and the 28th.
28th, yeah. They are not. If you could go to Fathom Events or your local box office or wherever you get your movie tickets,
They're not there yet.
Not going to find them yet.
No.
But Fathom Events is doing another showing of Transformers the movie. They did the last one 3 or so years ago.
Yeah, I think 2018.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was fun seeing it in the theater, and the theater was packed.
And it was a really good quality copy of the movie.
Yeah, it was
like,
the Blu-ray probably.
Yeah, they were running up.
I wouldn't know because I don't live close enough to any theaters that participate in Fathom Events.
I went to Chattanooga for it.
Yeah. But
you know how far that drive is.
I was all for this until I realized, COVID. Get vaccinated,
that's
people.
Kind of the problem.
Get
But
vaccinated. Get vaccinated. Get vaccinated.
Absolutely.
Get vaccinated.
They're doing this for the same reason they did it in 2018 because of the 4K version coming out now. It's just like Paramount having Fathom do showings of Star Trek: The Next Generation in theaters 2 or 3 times to coincide with those Blu-ray sets. That was a fun thing to do.
Yeah. So yeah, I probably won't be going to see this again in the theater.
Even without pandemic world out there still. I don't think I need to go see Transformers the movie in the theater again.
I have a projector here in the basement, and I have my screen. It's like 150 inches. And I've watched Transformers movie on it a couple times since having it in here. It's close enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's if you want to see it with other people, I can. The cats are here. I can watch it with them.
I would still love to have an actual theater experience with the Transformers movie.
Yeah,
it's not as good as watching it at a convention, because when I went to it,
the convention was great.
Yeah, the convention was amazing.
Yeah, that would be a really good experience too. The showing in Chattanooga I went to with Hey Mickey, like it had the right crowd, so you still got that energy in a similar kind of way. But like movies in general for me, I know I don't have like the typical movie going experience because I hear people saying like, oh, I got to go see that like 2 or 3 more times after seeing a movie for the first time. It's just like, no, I've seen it already. I don't need to go back and spend another $15 or $30 or $45 to see it multiple times.
If I really love the movie, I'll see it a few times in the theater.
Yeah, depending on the movie.
Yeah.
If I really love a movie that I see in the theater, that's when I'm like, okay, I'm going to get this out of the red box when it comes out.
Like there are cheap options to see movies. Like I'll see it once, like in a good showing, and then I'll, like a $5 showing at some other point. I'll do that.
Yeah, I purposely pick points of the day where the theater is pretty much dead.
Yeah,
I do that anyway just because I don't like people.
Well, yes, because people suck, but
I mean, there's people I like, but crowds are awful. Get me on that.
Nightsword said in the chat, the 2018 showing was the first date with his now wife.
Oh, that's
nice.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Well, when she didn't run screaming away after that first date, you knew you had to keep her.
My wife has yet to watch Transformers the movie with me. There's a list of movies that I've wanted to watch with her that I love, and she basically refuses to watch it. That and Princess Bride. Like I can understand not wanting to watch, say, Patton or Evil Dead 2, but Princess Bride.
Well, see, now you just need to tell Kim, well, hey, Nightsword's wife watched it with him.
Yeah, there you go.
And if Nightsword's wife jumped off a bridge, would you expect me to jump off a bridge too?
She'd probably say that.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to go see it again in the theater, but I'm also to the fact that I've seen it enough where, having seen it originally in the theater before, and all those years at BotCon with M Cypher and them doing it, the MST3King, I think I'm done. Unless I'm going to show my fiance, 'cause she's never seen it.
Here's
And
one. I'm sorry. I thought you were done, Don.
Go ahead.
No. If continue.
I'm done. I want to show her that, but I think it was Chris that said, one of y'all said, show her the VHS experience, which I still have the VHS. So I would like to show her the actual VHS.
Oh yeah,
copy.
the FHE. Like after the theater, that's the most genuine Transformers movie experience.
So, with one reason I can live without seeing Transformers again in the theater.
Because you can live
I can't
without
because
it.
I can't live with it.
No, without it.
Without it, yeah. So, I don't know compared to say like a Disney film, like how detailed it is. But Transformers the movie does not have a lot of fine details in it that seeing it on a gigantic screen will, magnify. Like Ghostbuster, I've been on a Ghostbusters kick on Twitter the last couple of days. Ghostbusters is pretty much my favorite movie. I have literally watched it 1,000 times in my life. I watched it so many times with as a kid, like many times a year as an adult. Like my kids watch it all the time. Now they watch Ghostbusters too all the time. But seeing it in the theater for the first time as an adult on a large format screen in 4K, I saw things I had never seen before. Details that I just never popped out to me. And that was amazing, seeing something that I've seen a million times, but literally with new detail. You don't really get that with Transformers the movie. It just isn't conducive to that kind of discovery.
Yeah, I think your comparison to like a Disney movie is really apt here because like when you said that, immediately popped in my head is like Sleeping Beauty, where like those beautiful painted backgrounds that are just full of all kinds of little details would look so good on the giant theater screen. But Transformers the movie has some of that stuff. Like you use a lot of those background sweeps as cover art just because they are so nice.
Yeah.
But there's still only so much you can pull out of that, and they're not to the same order as Disney produced.
Not to spoil what we got this week, but I got my 4K Blu-ray of Transformers the movie this week, and I'm not too excited about it because I'm not going to see anything new. I mean, it's going to look to me basically almost pretty much identical to the regular Blu-ray release, unless the transfer, like the colors are different or something. So, like I'm not going to see anything new. So I haven't really been that excited about watching it. Like going from VHS to DVD was a huge jump.
Yeah.
But, going from DVD to Blu-ray was, it looked better. But like going from Blu-ray to Ultra HD, it's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah, in like 10 years, when you have, a 10K TV and you need to blow up a version of the movie to fill that, then you'll be glad to have the 4K to fill that in with more detail. But for what we have right now, the average person for a viewing experience, you can't really tell the difference.
Yeah.
Run that on your projector and that'll work.
Yeah, like I can absolutely tell the difference between most, like a 4K film and an Ultra HD film. One of the reasons is because my 4K screen is 3 feet from my head. but when I'm 10 or 15 feet away, they look the same. Yeah. Okay.
That was a fun conversation.
That was. And that's it for the news. I guess what we got this week.
All right.
Chris wants to go first. I'm going to mute and just walk away.
Okay. All right. So, one thing I got this week was another Trax, because I didn't get around to canceling my Amazon order. I kind of wanted to just get it anyway, though, because of the problems I had with the first one. So I want to see if another copy will be a little bit better in some respect. I either will have one to keep in each mode, and get around the unpleasant transformation process, or I will be able to cobble one actually good one together out of the parts from the two of them. Maybe we'll just see what happens when I get this open and see what's up with it. Moving on to newer things, I do have Origin Bumblebee, thanks to Panda Strong in our Discord, tfradio.net/Discord. I am surprised how much I like this. So one thing I was afraid of looking at the stock photos when they leaked originally was that it was going to be like Earthrise RC, where a big chunk of the vehicle would have to come off as a scooter or whatever. But like it all stays contained and a lot more cleanly than I thought. You end up with kind of a
The
big
ankle panels
backpack.
don't stay contained; they pop off. Ridiculous.
I don't really have that problem so much. They did pop off the first time I tried transforming because I didn't know the sequence of movements to do correctly, but since then I've been able to keep it together just fine. There is a a backpack situation going on with this because like the roof and most of the front of the flying car mode has to sit back there, but like it's a lot cleaner in robot mode than you'd really think to look at this mess of panel seams and hinges on here. It's actually pretty impressive the way that it compresses down onto the sides of the feet and collapses into a pretty tight backpack. I do feel like if this had come out like 10 years ago, we would have something more like the Prime Viacon, where a lot of this vehicle shell would probably collapse into and hide inside of the big anachronistic Volkswagen feet. But we're not really there anymore, and this is smaller than the Viacon, so that would have been kind of a trick to do. But like, for what this is, it turned out really nice. In robot mode, it's comparable in size to the Netflix Bumblebee or Earthrise Cliffjumper. So it does look stupidly small in the box. Even I thought, like, I'd seen comparison pictures before I got it, so I knew rationally how big it was comparatively. But when I got the package and opened it up and saw how tiny it was in the box, I was just like, that can't be right. But then I got it open and put it side by side, and it's just like, yeah, no, these are very comparable in size. It's pretty impressive. So it comes with the little gun, which is basically the same design as what came with the core class Bumblebee from Buzzworthy back in the winter.
I wish it came with 2.
Yeah, now that you mention it, that would have been nice.
My OCD just doesn't like the fact that it's not symmetrical.
It comes with a fair bit of stuff though, even though it doesn't come with 2 guns. So
just buy another one.
Yeah,
they'll go on clearance probably in 4 or 5 months.
Truth.
There will be enough of them left. So it comes with a jetpack, which this form of Bumblebee never used. This is from Dinobot Island, and also should be gray and not black, but bold layouts. What's interesting about this, it works okay on Origin Bumblebee, but if you have Netflix Bumblebee, it actually fits so perfectly around the wheels on the shoulders
Ooh.
and the tabs on the sides where the vehicle
Ooh.
panels lock together, that it feels like it was literally made around this instead. It fits much more perfectly on this than it does on the toy it came with.
What's the chance of that being the case? Obviously, there are coincidences that happens.
I feel like there is every possibility that part of the alternate parts they engineered for the Cliffjumper body, there is probably more stuff on there than just the cannon parts, and they never got around to swapping those in. Now, I don't think they took, a mold element from that and moved over to the Origin Bumblebee, but they could rerun a CAD sequence.
Yeah.
And cut the same piece into the new mold.
Truth.
It may just be like a really neat coincidence that this works as perfectly as it does. But it works perfectly. So if you have this and you get the Origin Bumblebee and you want something that's show accurate, this works, and I'm like super pleased with how nice it is. It also, but Don, go ahead.
I say, don't forget that will probably fit on the upcoming Earth mode Sideswipe, and probably on Earthrise Prime.
I've seen it applied to Earthrise Optimus, and what happens there? Let me grab Earthrise Optimus out of here. What happens there is because of the peg being kind of in the middle of the height of the backpack, when you put on something with the peg a little bit higher up, it kind of rides over the shoulders a little bit. So it works-ish, but it doesn't work great.
Yeah.
With Sideswipe's port being lower still on the back, it looks weird in the opposite direction. So like if you don't have the Centurion accessory pack that had the other jetpack in it, this is a thing that will work as kind of a fill-in option, but it's definitely not ideal. It's not nearly as ideal as putting it on the Netflix body, or you can put on the Cliffjumper body too. That should have the same spacing. So if you want to do it that way, that's also a very viable option. And of course, it comes with a bunch of these little conductor rods. So the thing with these, the ends are thicker than 5mm, so they can't actually fit in Bumblebee's hands. And there's nowhere to store them on Bumblebee. So literally the only thing you can do is take the 5 of them that it comes with and bundle them up and basically just wrap the arm around them, which I guess is accurate kind of to what it looked like in the cartoon for the 30 seconds they appeared. But I just would like more discreet handling and storage than, jamming them under an arm.
They're going in a Ziploc
Clearly,
bag.
we need a box wheel jack to put this in.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, obviously we need to have that. Now, I assume that will be like a leader class toy that comes with a deluxe size wheeljack that forms like 30% of the vehicle, and then a box container to snap onto it, and then a second box to put on that's the armor shell that he deploys, and that'll be how that works. So look for that in like 2023 coming exclusively to Target for Buzzworthy wheeljack. Let's see. No, that's Optimus Prime's gun. Going up from there, I have Rodimus Prime.
Oh,
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do you like it?
It's actually pretty cool. So I'm going to start with the trailer because the trailer is the simplest part of it. I actually was using the trailer. It's got the drawer that pulls on the bottom, and I've been holding Origin Bumblebee's conductor rods in there. I took them all out, didn't I? Well, that wasn't a good demonstration, but it's got like all kinds of little accessory storage spots. So there's a little flap that opens on the front, the compartment in there. Of course, the back end opens up. I got the cannon unit in there right now, so nothing else will fit. But like, if you take this out, this will fit a regular size Autobot car very well. And I really like how the back gate works. So you fold up the ramp, you flip this down, and it will snap into place if you pull down on the sliders a little bit. So that stays locked really securely. And then when you open it, it actually has like simulated piston movement. So I don't think the individual parts move, but the angle changes and they slide along. So like it has the illusion of the pistons changing length. So there's a nice bit of detail in that. The inside is loaded with 5mm ports.
Ooh.
Far
Wow.
more than account for what it comes with, which is mostly blast effects. The only real problem with this is that when you have the cannon unit inside, the halves of the trailer shell won't really stay closed, but they also kind of don't stay closed that great when it's empty either. It's a little bit easier to get to do it if you jam it together the right way, but generally there's a little bit of a gap in it. Not too bad, but it could fit a little bit better. The cannon module itself is pretty simple. A few moving parts. The blast shields open out to the sides. And it's got the little rotating handles. So when you've got Rodimus standing behind it, you can actually flip those up and you can hold on to it. So it's a solid, chunky little piece. It's got a little kickstand on there so you can have it sitting by itself without tipping over. Rodimus Prime's pretty interesting too. So it's about leader size as a robot. The engineering is a lot more involved than Optimus Prime, for instance. So, like, messing with it, it doesn't feel like it's just a Voyager or a leader toy. It feels a lot more involved than that. And for the most part, I really like the way that it's put together. Don, you'll be happy to know there is a variation in this of the flip around shoulders like Hot Rod has.
Awesome.
Except instead of going like this way, it goes this way. So at a right angle to how Hot Rods works. But it's the same necessary step to get the shoulders oriented correctly. I think my favorite part of it though is the hands. So they're not like Unicron fingers where every one of them is individually articulated, but you get a separately articulated index finger with the base hinge and then one knuckle. And then the other 3 fingers are linked together and they have the same jointing. So you can have him pointing really convincingly and effectively. Like he basically just has, for no reason other than to point at things, a pointing joint. So I actually really like that detail, and it looks really good when you get it set up the right way. He can also make obscene gestures with the way his hands are jointed, so I appreciate that too.
Well, they probably put that in for the whole "this is the end of the road" Galvatron.
Yeah, I would assume so. So besides the wrist swiveling, there's actually a hinge that goes about 45 degrees, which also helps with poses with the hands. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work in the direction it would need to make sword posing work any better. And it does come with the sword, which is based on the Regeneration 1 comic, which is an interesting detail, but not anything like I was really feeling a particular need to have in a Hot Rod or Rodimus toy. If I wanted a Rodimus with the sword, I've got the Cloud one over there, which has Springer's helicopter blade sword. That basically serves the same purpose. As goes transformation, a lot of it flows really intuitively and naturally. There's a couple parts, though, especially in bringing the legs together for robot mode, where you have to force some pieces past other parts. Now, fortunately, the parts that have to be bent around other things are nylon, so they're not at risk. They didn't make those parts out of clear plastic this time, thankfully. But it's one of those things where on an otherwise really nice transformation process, it feels like that step needed a little bit more polish, but they just kind of gave up on it 90% of the way there. So it kind of just stands out for not being as elegant as some of the surrounding engineering. But one thing I really like in how they engineered this is completely unnecessary for anything else, but the chest folds down and there's the Matrix inside.
Nice.
And it comes packed that way. The Matrix comes packed in the chest in the box, so pre-installed so he doesn't revert to Hot Rod in shipping. Yeah, I mean, this is a really solid figure on its own. It's more posable than Optimus Prime, for instance. I think it probably could be sold as a leader class figure by itself, but it would have to be just this and its basic accessories. There wouldn't be any room for anything else packed in there. So, when you get it out and you transform it and it's a little bit on the smaller side as a vehicle, that's when the value would kind of fall away. But I do think there is potential for getting a Dark Rodimus out of this just without a trailer. One of those kind of, off the wall kind of things that might suit a Selects or something. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. Let's see. For the blast effect, where did I put that bag? The blast effects are mostly just blue Omega Supreme blast effects, which I think this is the second time they've been rerun. These same effects came in orange with Skylinks. So after Jetfires, those might be the most reused, and it has a different unique Matrix glow effect. This is not the same as the one that came with Studio Series Hot Rod, but it's similar. So that is another unique part. And that's pretty much it with Rodimus Prime. Again, it turned out really nicely. To look at it and, see pictures or video of it, I don't think anybody's going to be convinced it's not just an $80 Voyager with a big plastic box that it comes with. But get it in hand and mess with it, and it does feel like what you paid for. So the last thing I got was the Ark.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Jealous.
I hate you.
Well, so does my credit card. It's been an expensive week. It's been an expensive week, and I've still got 2 more things coming that didn't make it in time. So that'll be some stuff to look forward to for next week. Also.
Where'd you get it from?
Walmart.
Oh.
I caught it on Friday when it came in stock, and so on Friday, Walmart had it in stock for immediate shipping. They said it would be delivered by Monday. I didn't believe them by putting an order in anyway, just in case, and lo and behold, it actually showed up on Monday. I was really surprised by that.
Wow.
The Rat Trap and
even.
Cheetor that I ordered for next day shipping, or 2-day shipping, still a month later. I haven't gotten them.
I thought they canceled that order out from under you.
Nope. They're also showing it still is in stock and available for 2nd day shipping.
I thought you ordered those, and then you said the next day that they
I
canceled.
canceled
because...
my pre-orders after placing that order.
Okay. So the arc is very big. I measured it earlier for scaling purposes, and from nose to engines, it is like 42 centimeters. That's like 16 inches or so. It's also very heavy. I obviously prefer having it in the ship mode because that's how I'm showing it off right now. But the robot mode's actually pretty nice too. The transformation is simple on not quite the order of Scorponok. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but not by much. But the robot mode has learned a lot since, Metroplex Fortress Maximus. It's really solid feeling, it's posable, and it's slim looking, but it feels substantial. They did a good job balancing the needs of a toy this big in terms of weight distribution and how it holds itself with having something that looks and feels good to handle. I'm actually really impressed by how this turned out. I think visually, Scorponok is still the most impressive of the Titan class figures, just because it has that big boxy mass. But this is pretty good too for basically inventing a design for a Titan class toy, which is kind of a first for them. Like with Metroplex and Fortress Maximus, they reinvented an existing model basically, but for the Arc's robot mode, this is like wholesale new design, and I actually really appreciate what they got out of it for doing that. Let's see. I think a lot of people though are going to be more interested in the also Ren. So we've got mainframe and Teletran 1 mode here. This mainframe is bigger than I expected it to be. When we first saw it, I thought this was going to be like a slightly larger deluxe, like Cerebros was. But this is mainframe and robot mode is basically the same height as Rodimus Prime. So mainframe's a big robot.
So it is Silverbolt.
Yes, Brian, it's Silverbolt. No, it's not. It's almost the height of Rodimus Prime, but much less substance behind it. I wouldn't even actually call this a Voyager equivalent in terms of mass, because there's just not that much material to it, but it's got the height and some of the volume to be about that size. Teletran 1's a little bit on the small side. I think it's a little bit too big in general for the core class figures to look right with, but it's a little bit too small for anything other than like a smallish deluxe to look the right size with. So a Voyager or a Leader is going to be way too big compared to it, and core class is going to be too small. So there's like a really narrow range of this is going to fit and look good visually. I think third parties or add-on makers can probably patch over that a little bit by making some kind of extension skirting to bring it up a couple inches, because that would at least make the console height a little bit more fitting for the taller figures. It's not going to change that the screens are a little bit small compared to what you would expect from seeing the cartoon, but for general display purposes, I think it would work to just add on a little bit of height to it. But for the first, I think this is the first official representation of Teletran 1 as a piece of merchandise. I'm pretty pleased to have this, and it's a pretty decent mainframe figure too. A little bit of the posability is restricted because of these three panels fold up to make the backpack basically, and it does get in the way of the arms a little bit. And in that way, it does remind me a little bit of Combiner Wars Silverbolt, because that has something of the same issue going on with the wings and the arms. But it's not a Silverbolt retool. I can't stress that enough. This is not Silverbolt. And then in Teletran 1 mode on the back, you've got the two golden discs. So one of these is the Voyager golden disc, which has all the symbology and the pulsar map and everything, and the sounds of the Earth on the other side. The other one is the Vok alien disc, which has the glyphs on it. Now, the alien disc is supposed to have glyphs on both sides of it, different sets of them. Unfortunately, the way they made this, it's just the sounds of the Earth again on the other side, which doesn't really make sense. So, oops. But you do get both of them, so at least there's that. And then there's tucked in here very snugly. Come on. Got the little Sky Spy satellite that
Nice.
fits in there. So the panels unfold and everything. And it does have a 5mm port in the back of it, so you can plug it into somebody somewhere. Well, you can do something with it. Most toys have like ports, not plugs, so I'm not sure exactly where that would end up going, but it can go somewhere. The 5mm port is also how it mounts to mainframe, but I'm sure, with a little creativity, you could find other uses for that. And then the blast effects that the art comes with are reruns of Jetfires, this time in like a dark turquoise, which is not reading as turquoise on the webcam, I see. But in person, there's a lot more green to it than what it's showing. These are also very dark, and since these are supposed to be like engine wash, that kind of doesn't track because, rockets have this tendency to be bright, blindingly bright. Not dark blue, so that's a little bit of an oops, but it's nice to have more of this shape in a variety of colors, even if the color doesn't really make sense. The other thing this comes with is, I kept it in the bag so I don't breathe and blow it away. The little Optimus Prime figurine, which I don't think the camera is going to focus on very well. It's the same thing that came with the Centurion weapons pack in white, but now it's red. It seems to be cast in the same clear yellow plastic that the Ark's windows and the robot mode's eyes are. And it's painted over. You can kind of see it on the base piece. From this, I determined the scale for the Ark, assuming that this is the correct size relative to the toy. So based on the Earthrise leader toy, I determined that Optimus Prime is supposed to be about 33 feet tall, which would make the Ark in relation to this be 1/1000th scale. And from that, you can, do measurements and stuff and basically discern a size for what this interpretation of the Ark would be in real life if it existed. Overall length is 420 meters. I'll give you that one for free, and then you can figure out the rest yourself. So it's a big one. It's bigger than the original Enterprise, but not as big as the Enterprise D, because that was almost 700 meters. I'm a nerd. But yeah, I'm really pleased with how the Ark turned out. The only really annoying thing so far is just that I keep accidentally tripping the cargo hatch to open, because it's just got a little rocker toggle here that releases the spring-loaded ramp, and it's very easy to just brush past that and have the ramp spring down. The other problem with it too is that the rear end splits to form the legs, and the ramp splits down the middle too, and the ramp doesn't hold together quite as well as the rest of it. The conning tower kind of helps the rest of the superstructure to hold together when it's in ship mode. The ramp doesn't really get the same benefit. But I like the ramp as a play feature, and while I kind of wish there was more playset functionality to it, like the closest it gets is having the little miniature of the Ark bridge built into mainframe, but you also have to kind of like peel half the ship up to get to it, and that also looks kind of weird. Like if it could open up into an actual playset mode. I can't actually get this panel to disengage now to open up. Okay, well that's a pain. Well, I guess popping off is the same as disengaging. But yeah, you peel it up, and well, you can see the robot's head in there, and then mainframe would fit into this cavity, and you'd have the little bridge layout here. There's spaces in that bridge for several of those little figures to fit, but so far all we have from that is 2 Optimus Primes now. I assume the Galvatron and Hot Rod from Unicron probably are compatible with the same connectors, but that also wouldn't really make much sense to have on the Ark's bridge, now would it? So yeah, I would like if there was a little bit more like playset style interactivity to this, but that's more just like wish listing at this point. As it is, it's a very nice Titan. If we never got another Titan again, I'd say this was a good one to go out on because they got this probably about as right as they've ever gotten a Titan class figure before. And that, I believe, is what I got this week.
Don, what did you get this week?
Well, not a whole lot. Let me turn my camera back on. Actually, I don't really need to. Well, yeah, I do. I got one thing that I've not been shown up with. So let me turn this back on. Let me turn it back on.
Problems, Don?
Turning the camera back on in
It's
3.
I
Dude,
think
there you go.
There I am. There I am. It's a weird thing. It's an off-topic thing, but everyone knows I'm a big fan of Miraculous, and I picked up.
I don't even know what Miraculous is.
Miraculous Ladybug.
Yeah, it's Rena Rouge, which is a very hard figure to find on the Walmart website, and not at triple retail at what a lot of places charge for Miraculous figures. Now, it's weird. It's a juggernaut of animation in overseas countries, and it's barely a blip with
Is
any
this a
merchandise here in
Transformer?
the U.S.
No.
No,
Okay,
that's why it's
I thought it
off
was
topic.
Cyclops.
No, I think it's Code Lyoko.
No, but actually, he did work on Kyoko. I did find another slag to start my boxed
Jelly.
Dinobot sets. So I
Jealous.
just need to get a Grimlock. So
Wow,
I can
has
start
Matt even
my-
found one to open
I've
yet?
not found one.
I haven't
Really?
found one.
Okay. Sorry, I
No.
didn't mean to
That's-
rub in y'all's face.
Yeah,
then.
well,
Now,
thanks,
this is
Don.
my
I
second
deserve it.
one. But so I decided to go ahead and get them boxed. Well, even though Chris was right, they won't be in the same trade dress. But
Yeah.
box leader class Dinobots, I think, will be very impressive as a
Yeah, I think
display
so.
piece. So there's that. I got, thanks to John DeLuna, I got Origins Bumblebee, who I'm looking forward to diving into. Again, he tiny, but like I said, we finally got flat Bumblebee, so there's that. Thanks to Amazon shipping it without any warning at all. I got tracks because it was still showing in like August or September, and then it just said it's on its way. So I have 2 now. I have one in my pile at BBTS. I was thinking about not just canceling that order, but like Chris said, if one is better than the other, I could have one in each mode. Plus, if I ever go to a convention and Mike McConaughey is there, I would like to give him one, like I usually like to do whenever I see him at a convention. And the last thing I got is the Ark. I got that from Walmart. Again, I was up early that morning feeding Massey, and
You're muted,
And
Don.
you
you
muted.
did
Don.
You're feeding
there.
Massey.
How's that?
You were up early feeding Massey, and then
Yeah, and then I went online to Walmart to check something, and it was a suggestion. It's like, why are you suggesting? Oh, it's in stock. So, like, okay, I'm going to take a chance, like Chris said. And, I actually got it on Monday as well. I had the same problem with the ramps. You touch it, the ramps come down. I haven't had a chance to transform it yet because between shattering a tooth last week and,
Ooh.
apparently one of my canines was a little too pointed and it hit the bottom of the tooth above it. And just the way I bit down on a piece of pizza, because I went down to High Point last week and they closed the only pizza in between here and Raleigh. So I had to go to my second backup pizza place. And on the way home, I was having a piece in the car and I shattered a tooth. So between that and a
How
doctor's
old was the pizza?
No, it was fresh, brand new pizza from a local place I grew up with.
It wasn't on a dresser for like 3 days.
You beat me to it.
well, we don't know what happened to the pizza before Don got it.
Anyway, so I've got some other stuff in route that's not here, so hopefully I'll have that for next week.
Cool. Who else got Transformer stuff this week?
All right, I got some stuff.
Okay.
I have to mention non-Transformer stuff because Rob sent me L337, and I love droids. This droid
Is that
looks so
Leet?
good. What's that?
Is his name Leet?
L337.
L337. He
Mhm.
is so good and so detailed with the cabling and everything that's going on. I don't know why I didn't pick this up earlier. It's really nice. Thank you so much, Rob.
Oh, cool. I'm glad you like it.
I love it. I love it. Like I said, it's one of those, I love droids, and I don't know why I just didn't pick it up on my own before. But thank you. Then someone sent me, I don't know who, I did send a thank you, but they sent me some tools for getting wheels off to go with my impact gun.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, yeah, that's appreciated. And then,
So it was from a secret admirer.
yeah, I have some more stuff, but I have to go in the pile. I got Core Class Soundwave, which this is my second one, just because it's a cool figure. So I decided to not cancel my other pre-order and just, Amazon actually just sent it today. So if you ordered from Amazon, it should be coming soon. Walmart sent me they had Astro Train clearance for $25 on their website.
I couldn't bring myself to do it again.
I got the G1 Damaged Edition, which makes you, it's very reminiscent of any G1 Transformers still in box. A lot of them do have some damage. So thanks, Walmart, for giving me that retro damaged look. A lot. I don't know if we talked about this. I just saw it this week. This is the 2021 Hallmark
Keepsake ornament.
Oh, and
nice.
It's
Shockwave.
It's Shockwave.
Nice.
So, let's see. He's just in a little plastic prison, but he's really nice.
Yeah.
Hang on the tree. So he's very.
I need to get
He's very
that.
G1-y. They've been doing one of these a year for a long time. Nothing moves at all, but he's just an ornament. So
Yeah. His box should say all are red.
yeah. Unrelated. This is the first thing I ever got from Network. Because I had a $20 coupon and it wouldn't let me apply it to the that J Blavin Soundwave or whatever that was. So I applied it to Muckman. Or
That's
not
Mutagen
Muckman,
Man.
Mutagen Man. And he is the Toy Accurate Super 7, and I usually
God,
don't like
that-
Toy Accurate, but I just love
That
him.
kills
I don't
me. That kills me. I want that line so bad. Like I'm done with like the NECA Turtles. They don't do it for me. That does it for me.
He's huge too. Like he is really big.
I see that and I just like I can't look at that. I have to look away.
Yeah, it seems like I'd say twice the size of the Playmates figure.
Oh yeah.
The original Playmates
Seems
figure.
like it.
Oh yeah. He's really nice. I'm
I
really
had
happy
that original
with that.
Playmates figure.
I had
for
it.
$20
I have it now.
off.
Me too.
That
Yeah,
Don
for
and
$20 off, absolutely.
Yeah.
What'd that bring it down to? Like 30?
Yeah. 32 was shipping.
Yeah, that's I would totally do Super 7 Turtles if they were all that price.
Yeah.
I got some PLA for my 3D printer.
Are you printing Transformers out of it?
I will be.
Okay.
And then this is True Black. And I also got what other color?
Is it a Transformer? It's 10 o'clock.
Well, I believe you sent it to me. So
What?
the PLA.
Was it anonymous?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't me. I was the tools.
Okay. Well, someone sent me also blue.
Oh, nice.
I assumed it was you.
No, I sent I sent the impact driver.
Oh,
part
okay.
Stuff. Yeah.
Did you get my thank you?
Yeah, and it actually had my name on it, so I thought you knew. I guess Amazon put that on there.
Yeah. I didn't even know. Yeah. But this had no slips in the box, so I can't even thank the person who sent it. which I thought is weird.
Hopefully they're listening. Anyway, Ness on the Discord said Diecast loves Christmas so much he has it every month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then this is the thing that I'm like channeling my inner Brian Kilby.
Is it a Transformer?
It is a Transformer. It is the
I know what that is.
Star Wars
Ah.
crossover Death Star.
Where'd you get that?
And apparently, if you check eBay, like everyone must hate transforming this thing because
Yes.
there's not a single photo of this transformed properly.
I have that diecast. It is nearly impossible to get those outer panels in Death Star mode to align.
Well,
Mine-
I did it. I
Well,
was like, oh, this is
I
not
am-
that bad.
I am glad because I gave up like Leader Class Sentinel Prime. He's in a box half transformed because I can never get either one of them properly done.
But yeah,
I found one at the Goodwill outlet once that was missing a bunch of panels. I got it. Sadly, it's not missing the right panels to be a Return of the Jedi Death Star.
Aw.
Yeah, that's a problem with a lot of them. A lot of them are missing panels. If you're buying them, used, which you have to.
Yeah.
This was the cheapest one that I could find with all the panels, and the guy didn't even have photos showing it in this mode. I kind of, just sent a message, does that have all the panels? And he was like, let me go home and check. And he was like, I went home and I checked, and that thing is terrible to transform. And he's like, but yeah, it has all the panels. I was like, okay, I'll take
Yeah,
it.
you had to buy it at that point.
Yeah. But I love this. It's that Star Wars Transformers. I wanted to give you a hint. It's from a galaxy far, far away, but you definitely would have got the hint on that in the beginning of the show or the pre-show when we were talking about it. But because I'm channeling my inner Brian Kilby, I not only got Death Star.
Is it a Transformer?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I got the boxed Millennium Falcon.
Oh, nice.
That
Yeah.
is
Very nice.
Now, are you going to open those diecasts?
I would not recommend it.
Yes.
beware.
Those have
because-
brown plastic that shatters like
Yeah.
Transmetal Megatron and all that stuff.
Yeah, do not
Oh.
open that. The way you have it is that. But I will say, I have that set open and I have a set boxed. That is a great looking figure in about that aluminum Falcon in Millennium Falcon mode. But yeah, do not transform that Chewbacca. He will just
Great.
he will Randy on you all over the place.
Oh,
I
no.
don't know if Diecast knows what that means.
But
And,
his
and without
electronic-
context, that sounds terrible.
Randy's name instead of Randy.
Yeah.
Randy should have been Break. Now that I think of it, Randy should have been Break.
Uh-huh.
But that is an absolutely gorgeous box. I mean, that's one of the best sets they ever did in the classic Transformers line for the crossovers.
Yeah. And there's a bunch. I mean, yeah, they look like horrible robots, but their vehicle modes are all so great.
Oh
And
yeah, because that's
there's-
what they prioritized.
Yeah, as they should have. It's one of those lines where I when it was out, I was like, that's horrible. I'm not touching it, because I didn't like how the robots looked. And now looking back, I'm like, I should have picked a couple of those up. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing.
Cool. Do you have anything else,
Nice.
Diecast?
No, that's it.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Who else?
I got a few things.
Okay.
I'll be quick. I got Kingdom RC because it was $10 and I was
Abundant.
getting something else from Walmart.
You got it from Walmart for $10. Was it on clearance?
Yeah. Well, it was just $10 on the website along with a couple other figures
Nice.
and things I was looking at. So
Yeah,
Nice.
part of their collector con offerings was a bunch of stuff marked down to like half price.
I didn't realize
or
that.
So.
Which was
yeah,
great.
and it's I hate to say it, but it's not the worst figure I got this week because I also got Kingdom Scorponok.
I'm so
Oh
sorry.
man. Yeah.
I really want to like that figure. It's just one of those things where, even the proportions aside, it's very frustrating to handle because all the little ball jointed pieces like to fall off while you're trying to fight the transformation in the couple of places it needs to be fought. So it just, it was not it's not fun to mess with for me. But it's also the only representation of Beast Wars Scorponok I have, so it'll be in a box somewhere with other stuff. It'll be fine. It's good. I swear to God, there was another Transformer I got this week, but brain is going goodbye. But yeah, Diecast also sent me, and thank you very much for this.
You got Wing Finger.
I got those last week, so I think I talked about them before.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I think you were tweeting about that alongside Scorponok. That's why I got confused.
Yeah, but Diecast sent me from my Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/playlist the Zoids Wild Phobia, which is a small spider Zoid kit. And I haven't built it yet, but obviously Zoid kits have gotten smaller since the last time they were over here, but also a fair bit more intricate. There's a bunch of little gears that are going to need to be put into place on that. So I'm going to wait until I have a day with a nice flat surface and not very shaky hands and see what I can do with that. But it looks really good. So thank you very much, Diecast. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cool.
And that is pretty much everything I can remember getting this week.
Cool. Who else? John, you got stuff.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I got the Arc 2, like a few of us, and I finished my Pirates of Barracuda Bay Lego Ideas set. So again, it took me like 6 weeks to do this. I don't have the free time necessary to do these elaborate Lego kits, but I do stay disciplined and do like one bag a night, so to speak, and that is the nice way to kind of like slowly savor a Lego set, I think. So anyway, so I completed that. It's over my shoulder. And the only other thing that I got that wasn't mentioned yet was I did get the Worlds Collide set via a friend, Panda, who is in our Discord now and from time to time. So he found he might have been darn near one of the first people in the country to like really like confirm a sighting in a Target. Mm-hmm. So he found mostly intact 2 cases, and so I got one via him, so that's great. I did open that, so I've got a pile of unopened stuff that I'm bad at, but I did open that and pulled out Fangry because I had to check the knees. So the knees are a thing that I think they're varying degrees of not good, is what the internet is reporting. So mine are not bad. They're not good, but they're not terrible. So he's really nice. He's there he is, dramatic lighting. So the deal with the knees are they can be so weak that he can't stand. So in a worst case scenario, he just doesn't hold his own weight. Mine are a little loosey goosey, but he does hold a basic stance. If you do like flick your finger on his feet or whatnot, yeah, they do like flop around. And then comparing that to his the source material, so to speak, the monster bots that came before him, obviously those joints are nothing like that. So they feel incredibly stiff compared to this guy. But I'll count my blessings because he can at least stand. And overall, I'm pretty happy with him. He does feel he feels of the quality that you would expect from a random 4-pack that's a store exclusive. Put it that way. So could be worse, but he is on the spectrum of those type of toys. So anyway, I haven't unpacked Nemesis Primal or his other box mates, but I will. But I think right now everybody is mostly interested in Fangry. So the least I can say is like it's not guaranteed that you're going to have one that can't stand up. Mine's proof of that. Like they can be okay, but again he's in that category of random store exclusive repacks. So just set your expectations accordingly.
So
and
is that Black Arachnia as brilliant in person as it seems to be from the photos?
I want it.
She's awesome. She looks really good. I will say that some of the photography we've seen on Twitter has been really flattering, or had her in the best light. So With proper lighting, as you know, XV, with proper lighting, a toy can be really kind of radiant. And she's not quite as like intense or saturated as some of those pictures make her look. But obviously you can make it appear that way in photography, but just kind of sitting under natural light, she's not quite as saturated and brilliant. She's still awesome. She still looks really good. So I'm sure I'm going to be really happy with her. But yeah, she's not quite the shining star that you've seen in some of the better toy photography. But still awesome. Still looking forward to her. I will say that so like initially I think people kind of were not down, but not loving Nemesis Primal. But as we've seen more and more photography of him and kind of like, just gotten used to him, I think more people are coming around on his color scheme. He looks really good in the box. So where Black Arachnia was kind of like, she's not quite as like perfect as the photography would tell you, but still great. Nemesis Primal looks even better in person. So he continues to just look better every day. And when you get him in person, it holds. He's a really good looking figure, and his color scheme is definitely distinct from Primal. So I'm happy with him too.
And Bumblebee existed. Anyway, moving on.
Yes, and then there was Bumblebee. So that's it for me.
Cool. Okay. Who else? Anybody? Matt?
I'm the only one left. So I got the Marvel Legends Ultron that I didn't get last week. So it came in Thursday after the show. He is brilliant. Pinless joints. Love him. His blast effect or effect piece is the Jack Kirby energy crackle that fits in his mouth.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah. He is painted silver. He is not cast in this color because he's got a little paint rub here on his bicep where it shows his duller color underneath. But I really like him. And as I'm showing off non-Transformers things at this point to irritate Kilby, I also
You're
got
the one that's going to be up at 4.
Oh,
yeah, he wouldn't be asleep until 11 anyway.
If I sleep at all, because
exactly.
Just don't sleep. But the Lego Batmobile from the 1966 show,
that's beautiful.
That's so worth showing off anyway.
It really is, and it comes on the little turntable.
I gotta tell you, Matt, I saw that kit in Walmart a few days before you tweeted about it, and like I was just standing there being like, I really don't need to start buying Legos, but that looks so good.
Legos is luckily one of those things where I can just pick up something that looks cool and avoid everything else. So I got those things out of the way. Moving on to Transformers, I went back and picked up Generation Select's Cybertron Defense Hotshot because they made him a wrecker in the comic books. So someone finally gave me a reason to pick him up, and I got him before the prices got insane. So
good.
Lastly, thank you, John DeLuna, for being wonderful. He got me the Origins Bumblebee, and it does look tiny in the packaging, but I think it's just a visual effect of the chest being so small.
Oh, yeah.
Because I have Earthrise Cliffjumper here for comparison, and they are basically the same size.
Mm-hmm. Actually, Origin Bumblebee is slightly taller.
A little bit taller. But I actually really like this a lot more than I thought I was going to because of, the kibble hanging out on the legs and the weird backpack, which doesn't stick out too far, so that helps. Like if it had been hanging way off the back, I would have been really annoyed by that. But I mean, he's got good articulation. He actually transforms to a satisfying degree underneath of his flat shell. And mine comes with one of the vehicle panels is slightly off color. It doesn't show up really well, but one of them is more of an American cheese orange yellow than the rest of the rest of the toy. Yeah, it is
weird.
Don't know how, but like
actually, if I'm looking at the same pieces, I think it's the same on mine. That one's is the off color also. I don't think it's going to show up in my lighting, but that one has a definitely different shade than the equivalent piece on the other side.
Yeah. So overall, I am way happier with this than I thought I was going to be. So thank you again, John, for picking this up. And like, if this is what Siege had been all along, I would have had a lot more nice things to say about Siege.
On the other hand, imagine if this had come covered in battle damage.
Then I would have had not many nice things to say about it.
My question is, how is that not a Siege toy?
Yeah,
It's a
right.
Siege toy in everything but name.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, do you think maybe it was designed for Siege, but something happened and they had to put it in Buzzworthy Bumblebee to get some use out of that mold where it would make sense?
I more think it's a case of them wrapping back around to pick up something that people complained that they didn't do in the first place.
Mm.
I'm sorry, but I was a lot more vocal about Box Wheeljack.
Wheeljack,
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully they listen to that too, and that's something that's also on the drawing board.
But that's all I got this week.
Cool. Okay, just me. I mentioned several things. I'll skip the GI Joe and Ghostbuster stuff. The only thing really left to talk about is I got the Generation Selects new Soundwave.
Ah,
It's a Soundblaster. It's weird. Couple reasons. One, so he's the mercenary.
yeah, the Netflix version.
So
yeah.
it's got that symbol on his chest. The box is, I guess, similar to the Japanese Siege box, but it has the big 35 on the side here. And I'm trying to figure out what it's the 35th anniversary of in 2021.
If I'm understanding how this worked correctly, this was the only version of this Japan got, but by the time they were ready to release it, the Netflix material was already in circulation, so they just made some updates to the deco to make it more accurate to the Netflix animation. But ultimately, it's their version of what we got as 35th anniversary Soundblaster. It's the equivalent release.
Yeah, it's so weird.
So that's why the packaging has that, even though the year doesn't necessarily make sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, that makes sense. And that's what I assumed, but it's just, I'm like, is it the 35th anniversary of 2010? I mean, Transformers 2010, which came out in 86. So.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah. But he was in 1987 in Headmasters.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work out. It just drives me crazy.
Yeah, just don't think about it so much. You'll be happier.
Yeah.
Probably.
So I got that. That was it.
I mean, some days it does feel like 35 years since 2010.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I know you're not talking in detail about the Ghostbusters stuff, but I do like the story from Twitter of how you got the Ghostbusters stuff.
Oh, yeah. My wife found all the stuff at Target. She went back and made sure that they had, she got one of everything that they had, which was, I think, the entire wave minus Slimer. And she took a photo of it. She arranged it in the cart nicely and sent me a photo so I could share it on Twitter. Since I'm talking about it and people aren't asleep, I have the Ecto 1. I have the Plasma series Ecto 1, and I'm not too crazy about it. And I don't have the retro Ecto 1 yet. But this is a pretty fair stand-in for the real Ghostbusters retro Ecto 1. I don't know if any of the other real Ghostbusters cars have this Ecto 1s, but like this, the tires are supposed to be white wall tires, but they're stickers, and which is the worst thing I've ever heard. Just getting them lined up correctly. I didn't even try it. I'm just going to paint it. If I care
reasonably
enough.
sure the original Ecto 1 does not do that.
No.
Yeah. So, I it's nice, and I don't know that I need any more of these toys since they don't really fit in with real Ghostbusters so much. The ghosts do, but the figures don't.
What is that toy line, Brian? Like, what's it?
It's called Ghostbusters.
Oh, I know, but I mean, is there a show tie-in or anything? Or
it's called Ghostbusters.
Weird.
They're just cashing in on the movie hype.
Yeah, it's the one geared
probably
toward.
doesn't exist.
It's the one geared toward younger kids than the Plasma series. And the Plasma series is junk, honestly. That's
Well, I mean, since its inception, all they've done is that first wave, and now for the second wave, they're doing nothing but the slime figures, and it's like this is like Power Core Combiners all over again, just even sooner. We're not getting. There's other characters they could do, but we're getting the same 4 characters again, just in the variant outfits.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, Brian, but like COVID really hit this Ghostbusters revival like square in the face, and I'm sorry, Brian, I don't want to tell you, I don't know if Ghostbusters is the tentpole franchise that it was 35 years ago.
I mean, it doesn't need a toy line. It really doesn't.
No.
No, it
But
doesn't.
I'm fine with having, though, a Ghostbusters toy line. I guess in general, if I like the toys and I like the real Ghostbusters stuff, but I don't understand why Hasbro even bothered.
I wish Walmart would just knock the PKE meter down from $20 to like $12. I'd buy one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also got the wand or whatever you want to call it. That is from the same line. It's okay.
It looked kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of liked how it seemed to be a movie Neutrona one that had attachments that kind of made it look slightly more like a real Ghostbusters one.
Yeah. So, it is what it is. So I got that. Want to thank our patrons at the Touch tier, tfradio.net/credits. You can find them all there. Here, while I pull it up. If you're a patron at the Touch tier, you can, we'll mention you every week to give you thanks on the show, and you're listed on the website. You're also eligible to be on our History on the Fives podcast, which we record more or less every week. 2 episodes popped up in the feed on Patreon this week because we recorded last week's episode Sunday and this week's episode yesterday, which was Tuesday. I want to thank Kevin Dorsey, Ryan Bona, Cheesy Patty, Emmett Sresovich, Rabbits, Hector Bones, Jonathan James, Nathan Sampy, Ness, Joey Russell, Jason Hiley, Mike Mallory, Jason W. Rye, Sean Hamilton, Jacob Owen Lucia, Sean Bratton, Spider Bob, Mighty Orbots, Black and White Now in Color, Nate Wilson, and Cybertron Toys. Thank you all so much. You're awesome. You can find us at tfradio.net. All of our stuff is there. Rob Springer's not here. He is at zonebase.org and at RoboRobSpringer. You can hear his podcast stuff now at zonebase.org. He's moved on up, but we'll still mention him on the show because I get an email from Rob when I don't. So, love you, Rob. I'm glad you're feeling better. I haven't gotten an email in a while from Rob on that, but I just, want to make sure that we stay connected. Diecast, how do people get a hold of you?
You can follow me on Twitter at Diecast2. You can like my Facebook page at Reviews by Diecast. And you can see all my reviews at tfradio.net/reviews.
Cool. Rob.
I'm on Twitter at Figure Viewers and Rob Flails. Rob Flails is the Twitter for Flail Throughs, my YouTube channel. I cover Gundam games at this point mostly, which Gundam Battle Operation 2 is about to have its 3rd anniversary. They are adding the new Gundam from Char's Counterattack in approximately 3 hours. And that's going to be fun to look at. Hopefully I'll be able to get a hold of it without spending a ridiculous amount of money, or, hopefully any, but we'll see.
That's the Greek letter new, not the new Gundam as in the new 3DS, for instance.
Yeah.
Just for reference for people who aren't so familiar.
Mm-hmm. And if you like what I'm doing over there, patreon.com/flailthroughs. You can throw money at me and request specific rounds. And of course, I do have a wish list at tfradio.net/claylist. And just wanted to let you know, Chris, on the Walmart website, the PKE meter's down to $16.
Ooh.
Close, but not quite. Plus, there'd be shipping charges on that.
True.
Yeah. But thank you.
Sure.
Cool. Let's see here. Chris.
My toy photography work can be found at playwithphotography.com. I'm on social media for that at playwithphotos on Twitter. Kind of not really using the Instagram anymore because it's kind of gotten poopy for actually sharing photos and getting any attention on them. I heard recently Instagram came up with a statement that basically we're not a photo sharing site, so I'm not really sure what the point is anymore. Yeah, I think they're trying to turn themselves into more of a like TikTok kind of thing.
Okay.
Like they're trying to like lean hard into we have influencers on our platform and the things more than content creators put things here. So it doesn't feel worth it to go through the extra few steps it takes to actually put the photos on there. So I'm kind of not doing that so much anymore. So follow me on Twitter at Play with Photos if you like random toy photography things. I'm personally on Twitter at ChrisRTXV. I have been tweeting a little here and there about Star Trek and stuff, kind of going back to old formulas and, general toy things here and there. Just, I don't really know why you would follow me, but, follow me because it's there. I'm on Patreon if you want to support the toy photography stuff at patreon.com/playwithphotos. You can do that for as little as $2 per month. And I also have an Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/ChrisList if you would like to just do a random act of kindness to me.
Cool. Awesome. John.
That John D everywhere.
Dawn.
I can be reached on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EVR.
Cool. Is that it? That's it. I'm on Twitter at BKilby. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Okay. Also,
and obviously no post show this week.
I only have like 20 minutes of record time too. I didn't point that out. Left on my recorder.
Oh.
So
well, if we were still going 20 minutes from now, we deserve to lose anything past that.
Yeah, sure. Okay. No post show, I guess. Hey, people watching live, I'm going to bed. We'll see you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Goodbye.
Take care.
YouTube. Let's see here.
I do appreciate you trying to rush things